Welcome to another exciting episode of Bumping Into Walls here on CJSW 90.9. Of course, on that FM dial. If you missed our show, don't you worry, folks. Go to your favorite podcast platform and hopefully get into it. Why not? Of course, if you can't find it on your favorite platform, there's the CJSW app. Check us out there as well. Ha! See, Anthony. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm Anthony, and he's Dave.
And I didn't forget.
You didn't forget. And by the way, what is it? What is Bumping Into Walls?
We're some sort of radio show, two blind guys on the radio.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Oh.
But what is the purpose? Well, what we do is we bring the world of the vision loss community to the general wider community. So that is what we do. We bring our issues along. And no, I didn't bring a couch.
Hey. Oh, I was going to say, do you need a couch? Yeah, you do. I was saying issues. What issues? Come on, man. It's too much fun. I got issues. You want to hear it?
Oh, well, yeah, but I don't know if the rest of the world would. I mean, speaking of rest of the world,
what?
A couple of months ago, we put out our email address and we got an email.
Huh? Oh, yes, that's right. I was looking at it. Oh, jeez. No, but this happened way back. Well, I should say way back when, but it feels like way back when as we're in, where are we here?
We're in May.
May, yeah, geez. I can't believe that. Here we are. So it happened in February, and I did not mention it. Why? Because, well, it just is what it is. Anyways, yes, we got our first email on the Bumping Into Walls, CJSW at gmail.com. And you know what, folks? That is a mouthful.
It is, but it's pretty simple to remember. Name of show, name of station.
Right.
Not too bad. So, Kyle, thanks for sending us that note, buddy.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Thank you.
So anybody else who wants to jump on the CJSW Bumping Into Walls train, by all means.
And hey, you will get a shout out. Why not?
Unless we get 15 or 20 of us, and then we'll have to figure it out. We have to split it up into two shows, but we'll figure it out.
Hey, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's it. Maybe if we get some more emails in, we'll call it the Bumping Into Walls mailbag. Hey, I mean, they used to do that on television talk shows, didn't they?
Oh, sure they did. They still do it on some of the shows I listen to out of America, except for Dan Bongino. He doesn't do that.
Oh, well, I mean,
He just tells everybody that Trump's amazing and the rest of the world isn't.
So. Well, hey, speaking of amazing, as folks may know, sometimes we're topic heavy. Sometimes we're not. This month, I don't know. It's just one of those things you're getting a lot of mixture of... kind of mixed bag, as I like to call it, as really that's what it is. And unless there's something really we want to going on. I think we were talking about a few topics. Technology is always my favorite. I know we've covered that, but we were actually off air. We were talking about schooling and how that was like. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I guess going to school did have its challenge. And you know what? I don't even think we even touched on this. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't.
We brought somebody in who talked about his schooling many, many years ago out of a school for the blind, Brian McIver. We brought him through. But that was before the changeover, so it was a long time ago.
Okay, there you go. Well, at least you remember, because I don't. Maybe I wasn't a part of it.
You weren't here consistently because you were having to use your magic carpet to come in from Cochrane, and it cost a lot of money.
Oh, come on, folks. Everyone
who's
listened to us way back when knew I had a driver's license. That was fun. I mean, I proved my point after being told I wasn't able to drive, and heck, I did it safely. Only got one ticket, maybe one or two.
I'm still here, so, I've driven in your car. I'm still here, so must be something good about that.
One little funny story about that, I'll never forget. I was driving around 14th Street, around where Kensington is, by the Kensington Safeway.
That's in Calgary, by the way.
Yep. Anyways, so I was at a red light, and on there, it clearly said, do not turn left during these certain times. Well, I didn't see this because I really wasn't paying attention to the sign. I just went ahead and turned left. Next thing, police officer pulls up behind me. I'm like, oh, man. Really, folks, I really had to go to the washroom was a thing. And I know Safeway had the wash. So he's kind of telling me, you're not supposed to. I said, probably, but I wasn't supposed to turn during these certain times. I think it was during rush hour. But again, when you travel the road for so many times, you do make silly mistakes. However, he just let me off with a warning.
Whew, lucky.
Yeah, I know. Long and short of it, I mean, I think you can tell I was an honest mistake. But that was my, I guess, funny story behind that one. But I guess back to where we were going with the school, that was a challenge. For me, I remember, well, Anthony, I don't know. Do you want to go first, or should I kind of give you...
Well, you might as well keep trucking, because I'm going to have a different experience, because you have some sight, and the audience may not know this. I've never had any, and you've had some, so there's going to be some differences. So let's just see where you go, and we'll...
All right, there you go. Hey, no, we're not doing Coach's Corner here this time around, Anthony.
No,
we tend to do that sometimes, talk over each other, and it's kind of funny. And you just observed that. Let's see here.
A couple months ago?
Yeah.
10 minutes for excessive talking, game misconduct.
Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. And where was I? School. See, folks, this is how badly distracted we can get. We sound like two people. Oh, never mind. It's not appropriate for radio. I'll leave it alone.
The shiny things, you're seeing too many shiny things right now.
Okay, man. You know where I was going with that one. Forget it. Forget it. Just forget it.
That's okay.
Forget it, Dave.
So
leave
we're
it
into
alone.
school. We're into school now.
We're into school. That's it, Dave. Leave this alone. Just leave it. Seriously. I can go a long way with that one, but I'm not going to get carried away. All right.
No.
All right, we're back to school. So my experience was interesting. I remember being put in the regular class. Oh, man, do I hate using that terminology. But let's face it, back in our day, there was the regular ed, and yes, I'm going to say it, trigger warning. Anyone who finds this offensive, please turn down the volume. And... No, there you go. That's kind of your disclaimer. And there was a special ed class.
Yes, and there still may be special education.
But anyways, it was quite... All right. Some of the work in the quote-unquote regular education was too hard, but of course what I found in the special education, it was too easy.
So there was nothing in between.
There was really nothing in between. And now having... partial sight, and of course I have nystagmus in my left eye, which is really, if it wasn't for that, I would have had probably 20/20.
So what does nystagmus do? It sounds like some new Greek food.
No, not quite. Now you got your mind on Greek pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Nystagmus is an involuntary movement of the eye, and it's a back and forth motion, I think even up and down. And so it can be very hard to focus on one thing. So anyone who may talk to me and look at me in the eye, it'll move around. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. And so to keep focus on something, reading for me was a challenge. And you know what? I've got, back in the day, I had a big, huge monitor when they were operating the Apple computers. And of course, a CCTV monitor, which is a video magnifier. Of course, they've come a long way too. So that's what I've used to quote unquote read paper or printed material. And either way, I can never, ever hold focus on a book because it'd be too long, too hard. It's just, I couldn't do it. So I never liked to read or whatever. Now, speaking of reads, Anthony, what are you reading lately?
Well, let's see. I was just finishing up. Well, I've got a lot of things on the plate. Some books are good, some aren't. I tried to read a book all about film critics, but that didn't fly. So I gave that up. But what I'm starting right now is an author called Joe Nesbo. He's out of Sweden. I probably am wrong, but he's a European author, and it's translated from a different language. So he wrote a police trilogy. There was 10 books. I got through the first book. It was great. I went to the 10th book. It was like 19 hours long. I couldn't handle it. I was like, no, not for me. But I have discovered some other interesting books that L.J. Breedlove is another author. She's written books on a war, like a ex-Marine who works as a reporter. And what sets him apart from all the other guys in that field of, heroes that would go beat up on people, is that he's more of a young guy, not an old guy. Because most of the books, when this was done, which would be 2019 to 2021, were basically all old guys. So she was trying to come up with something a little more current. So unfortunately, I only have the first 3 books because the 4th one we don't have yet. But yeah, I've been reading a little bit of everything. I tried a Western. That didn't work. It just depends. Like, I'm not scared. I used to go through books. If I started, I had to finish it. But that rule, I'm going, no, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. So some books are great. Like the first police book from Joe Nesbo was a great book. But, you know, as you make more books, you can only do so much with character development. And that's maybe what happened in number 10. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Oh, and I'm also reading Jack Reacher.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Lee Child and Andrew Child. I read his latest book, which was 2024. Don't have the title in my head, but that's easy to find. You just type in Jack Reacher, and it brings you a big old list of books. And the latest book. Basically, the idea of the book is this guy roams around the country with limited stuff, doesn't even have a home, and he always gets himself in trouble. Usually some guys are trying to beat on him, or he sees someone beating on someone else, and he goes and kicks their butt. So that's what I've been trying to read. Not too exciting. Like I said, I tried to read I got some other nonfiction stuff hanging around, but we go one book at a time.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of reads, I got the latest James Patterson. There's another.
There's going to be a lot between now and
Well, latest. I mean, I know there is a Michael Bennett one, Paranoia, but it's in synthetic text. No, thank you.
So what's the name of the latest James Patterson?
The latest one I've got, well, quote unquote, it's 2024, so it's pretty
decent.
It's pretty decent. I got Confessions of the Dead.
Oh.
Yes, kind of, good old James. It's about you know what? I thought it was a ghost story. I think it sort of is, but then so far I'm to the point where the mom kills her kids or whatever. I'm
sure moms want to kill their kids every day.
Well, anyways,
10 minutes for killing your kids.
Yeah. But James Patterson, I never get bored of them.
No.
Really,
but he writes a lot of books. A lot of times someone else does most of the writing, and he just puts his name on them. He runs 4 or 5 a year. So,
well, it keeps me interested.
Well, sure, yeah, no, that's.
But and of course we talk about reading, but hey, we both listen to audiobooks. I guess back to where I was going in terms of having trouble with print. Audiobooks are, well, I mean, whether you're blind or low vision, in my case. There certainly are your friend. I certainly would, I don't think, go through a regular paperback novel, which would be nice. Although most folks get them on their Kindle or whatever. So, I mean, that's where I was going, I guess, with...
So when did you find out about this new... Like, it was a thing when we were kids, because I can remember... I'm surprised you didn't use... Well, maybe because you had sight, the teachers figured you might as well use the sight you had. Because for me, they just said, okay, you're listening to books or reading it in Braille. But Braille took up so much room that if you could get it in audio, great. I mean, how did you discover the audiobook?
Not until I met you guys, really. Or maybe I would have eventually figured it out.
Okay. Right on.
But I tried the large print things for a while. But I mean... in terms of schooling, I had special lined paper there. It was black in color, but it was more, I guess I shouldn't say tactile, but it was thicker lines. If you remember, if folks know what I mean, it's like instead of having regular blue lines on a paper, I guess it's the best way.
Was it special paper given to you by cops because they're blue?
No, not quite. Not quite, but
okay. 10 minutes for bad joke.
Yeah, I was going to say that's it. You're fired. No, I'm kidding.
I'm in the penalty box.
No. But anyways, I guess my whole experience, I remember being segregated, if you know what I mean. I integrated, integrated for some stuff, like gym. I disliked gym.
Oh, I hated gym.
Oh, and of course we had to do dance class. Any listener out there know what I'm talking about? Well,
yeah.
that didn't come until junior high or high school, but I hated dance class. Sorry, but just because we had to, if no young lady wanted to dance with you, I had to dance with another guy. Oh yeah.
Oh,
anyways,
I was lucky that way. I didn't have to do that. I'm so lucky.
Oh, anyways, I'm not going to get into into that, but so.
That's fair.
It was different. I remember going through, there's the guy in the special needs class, And
and
I didn't do too much. I didn't know too many people.
No.
Except within my, I guess if you want to say tight-knit group.
Well, that's fair.
Which, you know what? It is what it is. And of course, I made it through grade 12.
Well, so did I. I got through grade 12. It took an extra year, but I got her done. Because I needed extra credit, so I took an extra year. I had more spares that year than anything else, which are classes where you could. Spares were great because you could just. Well, so one of the things I'm thinking is, do you think it has changed for kids now? Because I wonder where they get time to learn all their specialty skills of blindness. Because if they're in a regular school, like I had an aide go with me from grade 7 to 12. Now I don't know if they still do that. But back then, I had to have everything put in Braille, and that's what she did.
Oh, Mom wouldn't let that happen. I know when we moved out of the Calgary system, we went over to the Rocky View. Anyways, they wanted to stick me with the aide full time, and Mom's like, nope, they don't know how to. Yeah, she didn't like that idea. So they ended up getting me into Cochrane, where they have what I needed there.
Well, that's good.
But, you know what? I don't know. I mean, things have changed. Things have changed since we've been in school. But, I mean, for you, it's a little different.
Yeah, for me, I was in the first class in Alberta that was integrated. My parents fought for it. Usually what would happen at 6 years old, they shove you on an airplane, send you off to Toronto, and you'd live in the dorm all year, which... Well, you wouldn't have much family life, and that's why my dad fought so hard to keep me here at the neighborhood school, because oftentimes you wouldn't really know your family. You'd go away to school, live with some other dude in a dorm, or maybe other dudes. I don't know how many lived in a dorm. I never was able to do it, but I mean, now with the school for the blind in Ontario. The only people that can go there are folks that live there. W. Ross McDonald is the name of the school. And you can't make it in the regular system. So the only way you get in there is if you're just not cutting it in the integrated system. They'll throw you in there. But that usually means you have other challenges on top of your blindness. So neurodiversity, or trigger warning, we're going to drop a word nobody likes, retardation. Which, when I was a kid, that's what they called us.
Yeah. So it was used. It's
not right. It's not right that it was used, but that's what they did. Now they call it neurodiverse, which sounds like some sort of new cake mix or something. But whatever.
Well, how about? Okay, all right, yeah. I know that word. Retardation it was a word.
Yes, it was,
and it was a terminology. But unfortunately, that particular word was used derogatorily, like very.
Like, anyway, I'm better than you, that's why you're a blank.
We're not going to get into that too much, and I'm not going to give you an example of how it was used.
No.
Everyone has an imagination. Or
they can figure it out.
Exactly, boys and girls. You can figure it out, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but it's what was used.
Game misconduct for bad use of word.
Oh, right. There you go. What was I going to say? Neurodiverse. Well, what about right? Blind. You're either blind or you're vision impaired. Pick one.
Yeah.
Or I've heard you've told me that people don't like being called blind.
If they have some sight, they prefer to be called vision impaired because to them it means I have some. Blind to them means can't see a thing. But that's not really what it means, but that's what some people assume it means.
Like there's legal blindness, which means...
No, the cops aren't going to arrest you if you fake being blind, although they
Oh,
can.
ha ha! You're just on a roll today.
Well,
aren't you?
here's the
That's
reason I say that. Because the word legal blindness confuses the crap out of everybody. I
know
mean,
what? I
there's
guess-
a purpose for it, but I've never liked using it because you'd be amazed the kind of responses you get.
Yeah, I guess that is why if you're quote unquote diagnosed legally blind is what it is. It's an official diagnosis.
Okay, I didn't
You
know
can
that.
only see, whatever it is on that
2200
pie
or
chart.
something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I
I'm very bad with it because I never saw anything.
was
so
gonna say, gee, that's why you haven't passed your drivers yet, eh?
that's right.
Oh, jeez. Well, let's see here. Are there going to be automatic driverless cars one day? You can
There
eventually
might
do that.
There might be.
Anyways,
So before we go too far, but for those people who have just tuned in and wondered what the heck they've landed in, we are bumping into walls, and we bring the world of the vision loss community to everyone else.
do you know what? I guess really I was talking to you off air. I said, the vision loss community. Well, that's kind of a weird terminology, but really,
Not
it is
really.
sort of a community.
It is.
I didn't think about it until,
Yeah, that's what CNIB, the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, that's their term. Now, here's the problem. They have changed so many terms over the years. I can't even count the number of times terms have been changed. So it confuses us. You can imagine what it does for just everyday Joe and Julie. Like, crap, I wouldn't know what to call us. So I'm glad that some of these terms have come along. Like, vision loss community is a good general term, because otherwise you get stuck in the weeds. But, I mean, what would you prefer? If you had to pick something to explain your blindness, well, what would you use?
sight loss in my case.
Okay. Well, for me...
Although most common, have you been always like that? Yes, since day one.
Yeah. And it's funny how anything you do, you have to prove your blindness.
Yeah.
It's funny, but not so funny, because people's blindness can sometimes change. I mean, for me, I have what's called blind eyes. They're never going to change. They aren't formed right. So a doctor can't even get a pressure. So they usually panic when they can't get pressures, but whatever. Because I was premature, came out too soon, and that's why all that happened.
No, so was I.
So there's a lot of that sort of thing. I mean, I guess basically we were heading in school and we got lost. So I'm going to take us back to school now that we've
Sure.
got through our amazing blurb of, if you missed us live, you can catch us on the podcast or on the CJSW app. So now we've covered all that stuff. We'll just clean up the rest of it and go from there. So when I went to school, as I said, I was the first kid in Edmonton, first class that had it. Now, we would walk into the school, and we were segregated, just like you were. There was about 5 or 6 of us, and it wasn't fun. I mean, I really didn't. I'd go out for recess and just stand there like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, because I didn't have a cane yet. They didn't think to train you how to use a cane until you were like 13. So I fell down more freaking flights of stairs in my first year and walked into more metal doors, which is probably why I have such a hard head. But now they're letting kids use canes at the age of 4 if they're, if they're able to. They're getting them used to it now. But back when I was in school, it just wasn't something people thought of. So things are changing probably for the better.
And those canes are a lifesaver.
Unless you lose them.
Unless you're Dave and lose them.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean,
yeah.
I can understand why those with some sight do, because you don't need it. If I walk out of here without a cane, I'm hooped. Well, especially here at the station, because there's always junk in the way. I'd trip over some amplifier and fall flat on my face, but, that's why canes are useful for us, and they're useful for everyone, because... they tell the rest of the world that you have a vision challenge.
I think that's the biggest thing.
You shouldn't be afraid to use it. Even if you just have it unfolded, they don't think you're drunk, and they don't think when you walk into them, what's wrong with you? They realize, hopefully, that there's a reason.
I've used my cane around West Edmonton Mall, and believe me, a lot of people would move out of the way there.
Oh, sure.
Generally.
Sure.
That's just it. And we've touched on that, on how the importance of that, because really, if anything else, you're right, it signals to people, you know what, you do have some sort of vision impairment, really.
Yeah.
In your case, well,
In my case, it has to be with me all the
Yeah.
time, unless I get a guide dog, which isn't going to happen. So,
it's funny. One of my dogs said, "Oh yeah, something about me getting a guide dog." I'm like, not one. Well, I don't know how there'd be a long wait. Two, I certainly know.
actually, no. If you went to San Francisco, you could have a dog in 6 months.
Actually, that's a pretty good turnaround.
Yeah.
But we're cat owners.
Meow. I don't think the cats would like the dog. They'd probably chase it, or he would chase the cats, is probably what would happen. Although they're very well trained. But, I mean, here's the thing. In school, I mean, the only good thing I liked about high school was choir. As far as everything else, I was usually working my butt off trying to keep up with everything. Because, unfortunately, Braille is just longer to read. Even a screen reader takes longer to use. Everything that we do takes longer. And I hated biology. Well, unless I got paired with a really nice lady. Then I didn't mind it so much. But usually those were the ones that didn't want to do the work. So
Man, really?
they didn't. Yeah, the teacher finally got smart and changed me out and hooked me up with somebody else because it just wasn't working. They were supposed to tell me what was happening, and they were too busy telling their girlfriend about the night before. So we almost had a little fire in the science lab. Talk about great balls of fire. Well,
Yeah. Well,
10 minutes for too much fire.
oh, jeez. Oh, that's too bad. But that's the way it went, right?
Well, yeah, and you know what? I have to admit, in school, I had one teacher in social studies who I had this really great teacher. What he did, he treated me like everyone else. He said, you know what? If you're going to give me a paper, here's what it needs to have in it. It's got to be formatted. I know you don't care, but here's why. And he explained to me why. Now, I had this great new tool called the VersaBrailer, but I only had it for a year because then the school board in their wisdom figured they'd take it away, which sucked because then I couldn't actually do what I needed to do, and I had to do everything on a typewriter, so it took forever. Whereas before, I would just punch in a command, and my paragraphs would become paragraphs, and whatever my lines would become lines, and all the good stuff. This was before laptops, so it was all in Braille. It was on one little line. It got the job done, but it was $10,000 or whatever it was at that time.
I'm
So-
sure.
And if you ever dropped it and the Braille little cells fell out, you were so dead.
$10,000. I can't even imagine.
Well, and it was a new technology that came out of the States, and most of our stuff that comes out of the States cost more because we were paying American dollars. Well, the dollar wasn't so bad as it is now. And with all the tariffs, well, God help us now. I would hate to be in the school boards now trying to get the tech that people need. But like I said, it was what it was. And
Well, I think that's even changed now.
oh, yeah,
Who
it
knows?
has.
I don't
People are
know.
using laptops in schools. They're not learning how to handwrite. I didn't learn to handwrite, so I learned how to type in grade 3. I didn't learn how to handwrite because
I learned to handwrite, obviously. It's quicker. But
maybe it depends. If you're a fast typist,
mind you could. Who knows? You could have had a career as a court reporter or something.
that would have been great. That would have been all right. I would have been okay with that. But then I wouldn't be here, buddy.
Yeah, it'd be a long day though.
Well, yeah, and I'd be getting paid good.
Yeah, you would.
That'd be all right. But
Or a secretary. Sorry, that's the wrong terminology. Receptionist.
actually, I think that's even the wrong term. I think it's something else now.
What?
Receptionists are the people that meet you at the door. I think they're actually called something else, and I wish I knew what it was. 5 minutes for not knowing what I'm doing. Yeah. This is what happens when your brain is working quickly.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's an
commercial.
assistant. I think it was like a...
Whatever. There's so
yeah.
many terminologies for everything.
Everything.
Even when you're blind.
Well,
Heck, let's call it what it is.
it's funny because even within our sphere here at CJSW, if you look at other places, you'd be amazed. When we first came here, they had something called the news director. Well, the news director didn't really do any news, but then we got our settings changed. And yeah, things change on a regular basis, right?
No kidding. On that note, you know what? I see that we got like...
We are ready to rock.
Well, that's almost time to get out of here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hey, thanks to everyone out there who does take the time and listens out, and all our loyal listeners out there, wherever you may be, because it's certainly, speaking of technology, there is that. Take care, and I'm out of here, and we'll catch you on the next episode.